Hello all. Whew. Made it through the week. What a week. What a week. Right before I started this, there was this gentleman, I don't know who he is, but he's very well known, has a pretty big platform. He said, "Are you happy?" I would say I'm not unhappy. I'm at peace. I'm at peace. I think there's a difference. A big difference. I think given the world that we live in right now, it's very difficult to be happy. I mean, what is even happy? Break that down for me so I can understand it. But I think when you can find peace in this world, I think that's a solid win, personally. Oh, Blue Jay. And so that is my answer to that. I'm at peace in a world filled with chaos, in a world filled with deception, in a world filled with corruption, in a world filled with illusions and tactics and cover-ups, and all sides of the fence. All right? But I'm at peace, because I'm not on that side. I don't have to do cleanups. I don't have to do cover-ups. I don't have to do none of that. I don't have to go scurry on neither. I don't have to play my part in this little simulation in my world and then go scurry on and act as if you didn't play your part, because you did. Because I remember those too. And I see you as well. And so it's one of those things, and you gotta live with that. You gotta live with that. You can't run from what's inside your heart. You can't run from what's inside your mind. You can't run from the choices and decisions you make, no matter how much money you have in the bank, no matter if you can retire, no matter what. That's all still gonna be with you. And I hope and pray one day those that are living that lifestyle get to that place so they can live in a world in peace. Because events, vacations, all these different things that you want to fill your calendar with is not going to bring you the peace that you're looking to gather in those things. And I want to be able to help people to achieve peace in a world that doesn't want to give you that. But you have to find peace within. And that's based off the choices that you make by free will, as well as true repentance. That said, one thing about me, I move in courage, I move in faith, I move in hope, I move in belief, I move in love. But you are not going to get me to bow down. I can assure you of that. And you are not going to instill fear in me. I walk in no fear. No fear. No fear on the roads. No fear when I walk out the door. No fear in how I live my life. No matter what is surrounded by me. No matter what or who. And no matter how big you are and how much money you got in the bank and what your pull is and what your status is. I've been surrounded by a lot of people in my life with a lot of status. And I see how they operate in it. And it does not scare me. Status does not scare me. I think it's comical that people think that based off their status, based off their pull, based off their influence, based off their money, that says something. Okay, cool. If that says something in your world, I'm glad that it does. It doesn't say anything in my world. And I choose to live in my world, not yours. Why? Because I have free will to live in a reality, in a world created in peace by the grace of God, and knowing who my God is, and knowing what Jesus did on the cross for me, as well as you. And so it's one of those things that you have to carry that mindset all day, every day, in order to find peace in this world. But the only way to find peace in this world is becoming proud of somebody, which is yourself. Meaning you can't throw stones and hide your hands. You can't pass judgment and not think it's going to come back at some way, shape, or form. Why? Because you're not God and you don't get to play him. Whether we believe in him or not, he still does exist. And it's one of those things. I'm so blessed every day that I get up and have another breath. And I'm so blessed by the people that I do have in my life, including the people that I work alongside with in both jobs. In both jobs. And I'm blessed for everything that I have been through because I see the reality behind it and I see the lessons that I needed to learn within myself. And I also see how things are moving in the way that it is. So everybody learns the lessons that are in front of them as well. Not only do I face lessons, but they do too. We all do. We all do. And why do you think it's being moved and used for that? And so I see that so evidently, so clearly. And so I'm like, okay, God, just use me how you want. Place me in whatever situation you want. Place me in whatever illusion you want. Why? Because I know I got you on my side. You're just guiding me through this thing called life. The way that I am. And I know it doesn't make sense to a lot of people, and that's okay. A lot of people don't make sense to me neither. So I guess we're on the same page there. And it's one of those things. It's one of those things, you know? And it's just... I want to help people get to that place of living a life like this in peace. You know? That's what I want. That is what I want. That's what I'm here for. I guess to be the waymaker, I guess in some different ways. Golly, that's such a big label. Oof. You know, I don't like labels. I don't like to be put on a pedestal. I like to be at the bottom. Truthfully. I want whoever wants to be on the pedestal to be on it. I want that for them. I'll be the one cheering them on. I'll be the one cheering them on. I don't need none of that. You know? And so if people need to be put on a pedestal, let them take it. If people need to carry the mic, let them have it. It's one of those things. And that's just the way I operate. And that's kind of how I've always operated in a lot of different ways in my life, if people were truly honest. But I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful evening. But yeah, if it's in reference to like me bowing down or anything like that, I mean, I don't feel like I'm living a life in where I have to bow down. What am I going to bow down to? The system? No, I don't think so. Why would you bow down to a system that technically they say doesn't exist, right? We live in a country that's supposed to be free. So that's a little unique. So again, what am I supposed to bow down to? And I mean, if there's something going on around me and it hasn't been made known to me, again, what am I supposed to bow down to? You know, these are questions. A person said to me, one of my previous best friends was another Jewel. The person that controls a conversation is the one that asks the questions. So I got to a place where the questions I asked in my world were always met with deflection, manipulation, and illusions. All right, so I picked up on that pattern. So then I stopped asking the questions because I recognized what I was met with. And then I started living the life that I deserve to live in peace. Because when you are placed in a world asking questions and nobody wants to provide you answers, there's no reason to ask them anymore. That is your answer in reference to finding peace in a world that does not want to answer your questions. And I think we are all living through that right now. Wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say? In reference to the Charlie Kirk case, in reference to everything that's going on with Iran, in reference to all these assassination attempts. I mean, we have a lot of questions and they're just mute. They're like, look here, look here, look here. False flag here, this. And so you have to get to a place in recognizing, yeah, they have power, they have control, only if you give it to them. Only if you give it to them. I love you guys. Have a good night.